Hey everybody. So welcome. This is Tai Chi for health, which means it is not linked to a particular lineage or a particular martial arts practice, but instead is kind of, at least as far as I'm concerned, a kind of loose rendering and a way to move our bodies that brings a sense of well-being. It's kind of a moving meditation. And so we're going to do a kind of warm up first, then we're going to run through the Soon form, which if you watched the lessons previous to this, we've been working with the Soon form, so we're going to run through 3 motions of that, and then we will do get back into our Yang short form. Last week we started with a little taste of the Yang form, and this week we're going to just add on to that a bit. So we'll get a little bit longer, and once we've added those few moves, then we will practice that portion through the end of the video. So for at least our time together here. So to start with, just find yourself in a kind of, it's sort of like mountain pose in yoga. Feet, kind of underneath the hips. Get a little soft around the knee, a little soft around the shoulders. We're just going to pause for a moment and feel. Now you can kind of rock forward and back a little bit, just kind of find the spot where it feels like your weight is centered on your feet. Spread your toes out. And let yourself just connect. So we're going to take one arm up and one arm down. Take a big breath and stretch. And then exhale, we'll switch, and inhale and stretch. So this move is called Bridging Heaven and Earth. Let's do it one more time on each side. Just reaching up. And then we're going to roll the shoulders up, around, and back. Try to get the shoulder blades to move like all the way forward, all the way up to the center and down your back. And one more big swoop in that direction. And then when we get to the bottom here, where the shoulders are back to our neutral position, bring them together, come up, bring them forward, wrap them down. Together, up, forward, wrap them down. Good. Just moving in the opposite direction. One more like that. Give the arms a little shake. And then we're gonna just take the feet just a notch wider, give the knees a little bend, and we're gonna swing from the waist, just letting the arms hang loose. So we're moving the spine a bit through these little twisting motions. Two more. I could do these for a long time, they're fun. All right, so then we're gonna take our hands to our thighs, we're gonna round the back, and then we're gonna draw the breastbone forward, okay? Round the back, draw the breastbone forward, round your back, draw your breastbone forward. Last one, round your back, draw your breastbone forward, we'll come all the way back up, and then we're gonna take all the way into one leg so you can come onto the toes of the other. Let me back up a little bit. So maybe that'll be a little more obvious. So my heel is in the air, and then we're gonna spin like a little kind of circular pathway around the ball of the foot. This gets the knee, the hip, and the ankle all kind of moving in a fluid way. Switch the direction of that circle. It also makes us challenge our balance a little bit, especially if balance is tricky for you. This is a good way to challenge it, because your feet are both still on the ground, so you can shift your weight back when you need. All right, let's give that leg a little shake out. Stand on that leg, put the opposite leg, again, the heels up, and the ball of the foot just becomes the pivot point, just going around and around the ball of the foot. hand, go the other direction. And give that leg a little shake. All right, so we've worked a little bit through all the joints. We only got to do our wrists now, so we're going to do some little circles with the wrists. Go the other direction. And then we're going to lace the fingers together. We're going to get this kind of shape going so that the wrists have a little fluid flexing and on either end. Go the other direction if you can. So we're going to get to this point and just press that hand back. We're going to get to this point, press that hand back, and then bring this hand and that hand into the opposite side of that shape. Spread out your fingers nice and wide, curl them in, spread them out nice and wide so you can get those thumbs to come back a little bit, curl them in, and then one more time spread them out nice and wide, give everything a little shake. All right, so we're ready. So for the soon form, we're going to begin with the, standing on my own pants, hold on. We're going to begin with the heels touching and the toes a little wide, standing up nice and tall. Don't lock your knees out. Keep your, keep a little sense of your core connected. So this is our heaven posture. And then we're going to let ourselves kind of sink down. You can sink down as much as your knees seem, okay with. Weights on the right leg. We're going to step forward with the left foot, hands somewhat a ball. Right foot follows about hips distance this time. We're going to take a nice big breath. Come on back. Now the hands are going to float forward for single whip. We're going to step out and come back. Change the position, waving hands like clouds. And if you're just hitting this Tai Chi lesson first, you go back to lesson 1, we break these moves down. But just follow along for today. We're going to get through this together. We're going to pause here, take a nice big breath. Now we're going to turn to our left, so we're going to spin on the right toes. And it's almost like you're hugging a friend beside you. Left hand across your chest. We're going to step out to brush our knee and push. Step in halfway. Put all the weight in that right leg. Lift onto your left toes and strum your guitar. Step your left foot down to strike. Right foot strike. Bringing the arm back. We're going to come together here. And then we're going to pull the mountain onto our knee and push the chi. Coming around to where we started, taking a Qigong breath. Now this is where we're going to keep going. So we're going to go right into our single whip. And our waving hands like clouds. And depending on how big your space is, you can take bigger steps or smaller ones. One more. Qigong breath. Hug your friend. Brush your knee and push. Step in. Strum your guitar. Strike. Strike. Prepare. And punch. Mount into your knee. Push the chi. Coming around. Qigong breath. So we're going to do one more round. Just so we stay in tune with our soon form. One of the things I really like, once I get the moves and you don't have to think about them anymore, just feel yourself moving through this range of motion. It's really lovely. Take a breath. Sometimes I like to do it with my eyes closed, or mostly closed. so that I can really just feel. Brush your knee and push. And then here's our strum the guitar. And then we're going to strike and strike. And the fist comes together. Step back. Push that mountain. We're coming back around, and we're going to close our door now. So we're going to take a Qigong breath. We're going to take the arms up and bring them all the way down. And bring the right foot in, bring our left foot in, back to our heaven posture, and then we're going to bow. So the right hand makes a fist for strength. Left hand comes together, thumb tucked in to represent friendship and humility. And then I bow to you with both of those things, or all of those things. Thank you for practicing that one with me. Now I'm going to do a little bit of reorganization in my space here, just move a few things out of my way. So I'll have a little bit more room for my footwork. And we're going to look at the yang short form. So we're going to break this down, the early pieces, piece by piece again. We did that last time. We're going to go through the lessons that we did last week, which was opening the door and our wild horse, parting the wild horse's mane, or parting the horse's mane. Some people put the wild in there. I have parted many a horse's mane, but not wild horses. I'm not sure I would recommend that. But in any case, that is neither here nor there. So with the yang form, we're going to start in a kind of earth posture, but so the feet are pointing forward. And we're going to pause for a moment and get present. Okay? So then the weight shifts into the left leg, and you want your knees to get a little soft. We're going to keep the knees a little soft the whole time. We're going to step this left one out. We're going to shift the weight and come to center. And then once we get to center, we're going to come up like our arms are being lifted by a big ball, right? So then we're going to turn. We're going to have a little ball on our hip, right on. And then we're going to step ourselves out to part the horse's mane. Come back. Step ourselves out to part the horse's mane. Come back. Step ourselves out one more time to part the horse's mane. Half a step in, and the white crane spreads its wings. All right. So just to review those movements before we do the next movement, let's do them again. And I'm going to start tucked in here pretty tight, so I've got plenty of space. So I'm going to find myself, weight in the right foot, step out to the left a bit. Get the weight centered, come up over a ball. Okay. So I'm just shifting myself so I'm ready to go in this direction, shifting this leg in. And then I'm going to step out with my right foot in a sweeping motion. So it's like I'm holding a ball, okay? So the hand that's on the top is going to go down like this, and the hand that's on the bottom is going to come up. Now, this is based in a martial arts form, and if someone were striking me from overhead, and I bring my arm up like that, I'm going to block that strike, okay? And if someone were trying to kick me, then I might block their leg with my arm sweeping down, right? So that's where this comes from. But again, this is Tai Chi for health. So we can get a little bit more poetic with our movements, a little more fluid. We don't necessarily have to stay in that box. You can, but recognize that if that makes sense, if you can kind of see those two strikes, then maybe this movement of your arms makes more sense, okay? So then we're gonna hug a ball over on this hip, step this leg out, and it's kind of a sweeping motion, and then we're going to part the horse's mane. Rock back, we're turning the toes out a bit, and then we're going to do it one more time. Taking that half a step in. Now this white crane spreads its wings. I get really big and poetic with, but if I were actually doing martial arts, it would stay much closer to my face, okay? Then we're going to turn the palm, and this arm is going to come all the way back. And we're going to brush our knee and push. So we've seen this move once already with the Soon form. So we're going to step, brush, and push. Rock back, but we're going to do it both directions. So we're going to bring the other arm around. Step, brush, push. I might be going off your screen a little bit. One more of those. Step, brush, push. Half a step in, and then we're gonna do a move that we know, which is strumming the guitar, and I'll show you that again a little bit closer here. So I'm gonna take tiny little steps so that I stay inside the view. This is why the yang form, I think, is kind of more challenging, at least for me in my space, to teach you guys in this method. But we're gonna do our best together, y'all. Okay, so tucked into my corner here, so I got a little bit of room to go that direction because we're gonna move to our left. We're gonna find ourselves in this position where the feet are pretty darn close together and we feel this kind of earth posture, this feeling of being like a mountain or like a tree, like very sturdy, rooted. And then we're gonna shift the weight to our right leg, and that left leg is gonna step out, and we're coming into this more bent-kneed position. Arms come up over this big ball. We're gonna shift around a little bit, and this puts me in place to hold my ball. Yeah? Then we're gonna step out to part our horse's mane, rock it back. I'm gonna take a little teeny step. Step out to part our horse's mane, rock it back, out to part our horse's mane, half a step in. White crane spreads its wings, so I turn to look behind me, switch which arm is on top, come back. Palm facing out for this one, because we're gonna turn it and drop it back. This hand is across my chest, and now I'm ready. So I'm gonna step, brush my knee, and push. Pivot that heel in the back. Pivot your foot in the front. Turn the other direction. Brush your knee, push. We're doing that one more time. Rock back, pivot. So we're going this way. Step, push, half a step in, and then we're gonna lift our toes with this form to strum the guitar. So with the soon form, what we did was we came onto our tiptoe. With this form, we're just gonna lift the toes up. I don't know if you can even see that in your viewfinder. Toes up like that, okay? And then we're strum our guitar. Go in the other direction, but you get the idea. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you the white crane, the 3-pack of brush, knee, and push, and we're gonna do that through 3 times, and then we'll put this back together and do the whole form for the rest of our time together until we have a little bit of time left at the end for a little stretching out, okay? So we did our last horse's mane, then here's our white crane spreads its wings, so we shift, and try to imagine what that would be like if you had those feathers. Okay, so this is our brush, knee, and push. So I'm gonna brush my knee, push, pivot. So now everything's facing forward, come back, turn that way. Brush our knee and push. So the footwork, everything faces forward, come back, pivot to the inside, okay? Brush, knee, push. Step in halfway, lift your toes to strum your guitar. And I get fancy there, but you're protecting your elbow with your hand, and this is kind of like a 90-ish degree angle. Okay, let's try it. Those 3 moves. There's our last horse's mane. White crane spreads its wings. Turn the palm. We're gonna let this arm drop back. This hand's across my chest, because that's my brush hand. Okay, everything faces forward, rock back, pivot. Brush, knee, push. Everything faces forward, rock back, pivot. Brush, knee, push. Half a step in, strum your guitar. I have to reprogram my brain when I do the soon form, because I want to do the bent knee up on the tippy toes. Let's do that one more time. And if you do that one, who cares? It's gonna be fine. It's just Tai Chi. We're gonna do all right. There's our last horse's mane. White crane spreads its wings. Okay. Coming around, there's my brush, knee, and push. Everything faces forward. Rock it back, turn the other way. Brush, knee, push. Rock it back, turn it forward. I'm gonna step one more time with my left foot to push. Right foot in. Lift your toes to strum your lute or guitar, depending on who talks. It's neither a word, but but you can use both. It was taught to me originally as lute, And then later as guitar, and they're interchangeable in my world. Okay, so let's go back to the start of this yang form, and we're going to practice up to strum the lute several times, right? We're just going to do it for about 6 minutes, maybe a little longer. So give yourself plenty of room to the left, because that's where we're going to need some space. I might try this next week out of doors if it's an okay day. So a little more space to work with. We're going to sink ourselves in. All the weight's in my right leg. I'm going to step my left foot out a bit, bend the knees, arms come over the ball. Okay, and then I'm setting myself up. I'm going to hold the ball on my hip. Here's my parting the horse's mane. I'm coming in. Sweep step, parting the horse's mane. I'm trying to stay pretty snug so I don't go too far off your view. Step in halfway, white crane spreads its wings. Turn your palm. We're going to drop that arm back. This hand's across your heart. And then we're going to brush knee and push. Okay? Everything pivots forward. Turn to your left. Brush knee and push. Everything pivots to your right. Brush knee and push. Half a step in. Strum your guitar. The good news is the move after that one takes us all the way back here. So that is the good news and for our purposes. So for now though, we're just going to do this much. And next week we'll put the monkeys into our world. So finding your steady place. That weight shifts into your right. We're going to step it out. Arms come over the ball. And we're just setting ourselves up for our parting of the horse's mane. And just try to move as smoothly as you can. Even if it's not right, the most important component in my mind is the rhythm. Right? Try to get into this really lovely kind of slow, fluid movement. There's our white crane. This is our brush knee and push. So we turn the palm, let that arm go all the way back. We're making like a half circle, okay? Brush your knee and push. Pivot around to your left, same idea. Brush your knee and push. Pivot to your right. Brush your knee and push. Half a step in, toes up, strum your guitar or your lute. Good. Let's do it again. And give yourself a little shake. Sometimes when you don't, if you haven't done Tai Chi, this can kind of be some interesting core work. So not normal. So you might start to feel like, oh, my low back is kind of working, or the middle of my back is working. That's normal. But you might also want to like, oh, rinse it out in between rounds while you're getting used to this notion. All right, so we find our position on the earth. Weight to the right, a little step out to our left. We're going to take that ball up. Keep your knees nice and soft so that as we're moving through, nothing's locked out. Okay, so now I'm ready to step out to part my horse's mane. And then step out. If you've got more room, take up all the room you want. If you're like me and your space is limited, we're just going to move in tiny steps. Half a step in, white crane spreads its wings. Okay, the palm is turning. We're going to drop that arm back. And I'm going to brush my knee and push. Okay, coming around. Sorry, plant. Brush your knee, push. Coming around. Brush your knee and push. Half a step in. Strum your lute. Kind of sink in. If you have really flexible joints, let yourself, you can really sink into it. If you have a little bit more tender joints, then you just keep a little softness, a little flexibility. And over time, maybe our joints get a little bit better, but maybe they don't. So we do what we can. All right, so we're gonna do it through again. Find your position on the earth. Weights to the right. A little step out to our left so the weight is balanced. We bring the arms over. And then we're going gonna shift. So we're turning and getting ourselves ready to move at a diagonal to our left, to part our horse's mane. Coming back to a diagonal to the right, part your horse's mane. Diagonal to the left, one more time, part your horse's mane. Now half a step in, and this is the white crane. This is just a movement in the upper body. Oh, legs are gonna stay right where they are. Turn the palm. Now we're gonna go straight ahead, okay? So not to the diagonal, straight, brush knee and push. You're gonna shift your hip, come back, turn. Straight ahead, brush your knee and push, come back, turn. Even though we're turning, the movement is straightforward, okay? Brush your knee, push, strum your guitar. Good. So for the horse's mane, we go diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. For the brush knee and push, we go straight, straight, straight. Even though we're turning the torso, the movement pattern, diagonal, 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 straight, 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 okay? Hopefully that's helpful. It's hard to see, I think, with a video. Let's do it through one more time. So we're gonna find our position on the earth, whether you're in your living room, on your deck, or out in the world. Imagine yourself here on the earth, right? So the weight's in the right leg. We're gonna step that left foot out. Nice and soft in the knees and hips. We're coming up over a ball. We're gonna pivot a little around on that left side, bring the right side in, hold the ball on your right hip. Step into your left at the diagonal, part your horse's mane. Step into the right on the diagonal, part your horse's mane. One more time to the left on the diagonal. Now we're gonna step halfway in, bring it right to the center, and the white crane spreads its wings. Feel that elegant movement. Turn your palm, okay? So now we're setting up to brush our knee and push. Coming back, other side. Brush your knee, push, and you're stepping straight forward for these, okay? Brush your knee, push, step in, strum your guitar or your lute, whatever your instrument of choice is. All right, so we only have a few more minutes together, so let's do a couple of little moves just to loosen ourselves up and to rinse everything out. So we're gonna shake the right arm. Shake it. Shake it, you can shake it up higher, you can shake it kind of more in front of you or around to the side. You can shake it hanging down. I like to do all of the above because it changes the way the muscles feel. Try to shake it now all the way up through the shoulder. Okay, let that arm go and do the other arm. So I start with little shakes, mostly kind of aimed at loosening up my fingers and my wrist, and then a little bigger shake, and again, kind of changing the position of the arm. Oh, and then get it really big and get the whole arm and shoulder. Oh, and then we're gonna shake the shoulders and shake the hips. This looks a little weirder. But you're in your living room alone, yogis. So just, whatever. Or if you're not at home alone, maybe don't do this part. And then we're gonna shake a leg. This is harder so you can hold on to something as you need for balance. And then let's do the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna do a little wide angle forward bend. Be careful of your hamstrings. If you need to, keep your knees bent. We're gonna go down slow. Oh. So if you can, you're gonna lean back into your sit bones and straighten out your legs. And give your whole back body a little bit of a stretch out. Backs of the legs, the glutes, low back. Letting your head kind of hang, that feels nice. Oh. And so just kind of feeling out. Oh. And then we're gonna come to a wide squat. And maybe the thighs will go parallel, maybe they will not, so you stay a little higher up. Oh. Oh. Now we're gonna do a little qigong. And this qigong is for when you just kind of need to get yourself organized and send an intention out into the world. So today's a new moon, and it's a great, so I love metaphors, so it's a great time to just kind of wipe your slate clean and start over. And so this is kind of this energy of picking ourselves up by our bootstraps. So we're going to take a wide horse stance, and you can bend your knees more. If that's appropriate, you're going to bring your hands, palms up into fists, right here at your hips. And we're going to go ha, like that, and punch. Ha, and punch. We're going to do 3 like that. Ha, 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 ha. Now, we're going to make it quieter for 3. Ha, 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 ha. And now completely silent, but in your brain. And then pause. Okay, now bring yourself together. Now you can do 3 rounds of that. So you've got 9 punches times 3 rounds, okay? And often what happens, for me anyway, is that it does sort of, it just brings me into a kind of a little more determined state of mind, right? So if I'm getting kind of like, oh, I'll do that later, this one really helps bring me back to, oh yeah, let's go get it done now. Let's get her done. How's that? To use a parlance of our times. Yogis, I really appreciate you practicing Tai Chi with me today. So again, we're going to bring our right hand into a fist to represent strength. We're bringing strength to our practice. Our left hand tucked in with that thumb to represent coming in friendship and being humble, because we don't have all the answers, yogis. We're doing this together. And then we bow to each other so that my strength and humility and friendship hopefully strengthens you and yours does me. And for you yogis, namaste.